Good morning, mi gente. Grab your coffee and your crystals because today's guest is someone who puts the divine in design and the holy in holy fabulous. He is the senior minister at My Unity on the Bay. It's not My Unity on the Bay, but you know, I call it My Unity on the Bay, right? The place that has been my spiritual home since 2001. And honestly, I would not be me without this community. He's been my spiritual rock through my breast cancer journey, through my sobriety, and every one of my "Dear God, what now?" texts that I usually send him. He just celebrated a birthday. He just survived an Ask the Minister Sunday where people could ask anything, and that takes a lot of courage to do that. And he's leading the way in faith-based activism right here in South Florida. Please welcome my friend, my pastor, my hero, Reverend Juan de Hierro.
I love that. Thank you for having me in bed again, Faye.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you in bed with me today. Who gets to tell that to their reverend? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, this will be the third time I think that you're on my show. Do you remember the first time? It was like when my show was in my second bedroom.
Well, you know what? Each time it gets a little easier. Each time I get a little bit more comfortable in bed with you, you know?
Aww.
I start to learn the ropes.
Yes, yes. So let's talk a little bit about welcome back to the FayWhat show,
Thank
Reverend
you.
Juan. Thank you so much for being here. I'm still in shock that you let people ask you anything. I have to start with that, right? You know, like if it would have been me, I would have started with like a pre-approved list of questions that could be asked and what to stay away from and what was okay. And you just were like, whatever comes, I'm good.
Well, you know, first of all...
You're smirking. You're smirking. So...
Well, as you remember, it took a while for me to get comfortable enough, right? Like the first time around, we had people send in the questions ahead of time. So we kind of knew what was coming. And I think part of it was just, you know, wanting to be prepared.
Yeah.
But this time around, I just felt like this is what we do. We have conversations about what's coming up for people, what's coming up for me. And I don't have to be right. I just have to be open.
Wow.
And to me, that's a great place for spirituality to take place.
Yeah, it's a great intersection, you know. And if you want to see that, please go to Unity on the Bay on their Facebook page and watch the Ask the Ministers. If you type it into YouTube, it will pop right up. And like I love that the questions were personal, but some were spiritually based and some were WTF, what do I do? You know what I mean? And we were okay with just being able to at a moment's notice, you just answer at the cut, you know, right there.
But isn't that life, right? Like sometimes we ask questions of ourselves and of others that are spiritually minded and remind us of our connection with God and with each other. Sometimes they're just off the cuff questions, and sometimes there are things that come up that we're like, what the F?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's true to life, you know. And like when I first heard, they've done Ask the Ministers a couple of times in the past, you know, with our last minister, Reverend Christopher Jackson. Hi, Chris, how are you? And I would always see it as a congregant. I would always sit to watch it, right? And when I heard from Jason Weeks, hi, Jason, that you were going to do it again, I'm like, this is what I do. Can you let me be the asker? Like, can I kind of interview? Can I get the questions from the audience? What can I do? You know, and I was so happy to be able to be a part of that, you know? So thank you for allowing me to do so.
Well, you know, it's sometimes also easier to trust you asking the right questions while you're on stage with me, on the platform with me, than when you're off to the side. So it was part of my safety maybe too.
He's smart. Oh yeah, there were some questions there that I was like, I'm not gonna ask him this, are you crazy? Yet, every single question that was not answered live, Juan went back and answered anyway, you know, so I could only imagine how that went. Let's start with a little bit about Unity on the Bay, all right? You know, it's such an inclusive, loving space. BIPOC, immigrant, LGBTQ+, everyone belongs. How do you create that kind of spiritual home in today's world when so many churches are still stuck in fear, in just basic fear and judgment?
You know, I think part of the ways in which we've done that is just the beauty of our spiritual teachings, which is about the unique and diverse ways in which God shows up in life and shows up in community. And so there's not much othering that happens not only within Unity on the Bay, but within the spiritual movement of Unity, because we're all unique, worthy expressions of God.
Yeah.
And so it really is about living into our values and living into our teaching. And I think that, we continue to see how it unfolds and just try to be as open as possible and as welcoming as possible, and make sure that people feel not only honored and represented, but also celebrated for who they are. And, part of the beauty, I think, in Unity is that we also let people know, like, come as you are and take what, you connect with, and that you feel can be useful in your life and lead you to have a healthier relationship with others around you, with God, with the God of your being. And then the things that may not resonate at this time, just put them to the side.
Yeah.
Because use what's practical, use what
costs to you. Use what you can need now. And maybe next time you come, there'll be something else that you can take with you, right? I mean, but it's hard to tell that to people. Like, I just had a good friend, Jason Nunez, who now is part of Unity on the Bay, right? And he's like, I listened. He's like, I listened when you were saying about what they brought to you and how they filled you and how you took what you needed, left the rest until you were ready to deal with the rest, right? My whole life, every single stained glass, beautiful church in the front said all are welcome. But then once you walked in, that was not the case, right? So you get all these reformed or people or Catholic folks that are healing from that, right? That are kind of like, I don't know, right? And then once they walk through the doors, I just got to get them through the doors. Yeah. Once they go through the doors and they see that Unity on the Bay is a different kind of church, they take what they need, right? And it's a beautiful way. And you've given that. You've given the red carpet, the ability for people to walk in and get that.
Well, I appreciate that, because I think it's not only part of our teachings and the way that I am meant to show up, I think it's also returning the favor, because somebody did that for me, and because of that, my life, as you know, is so much more blessed. I thrive more. I have better relationships. I love myself more. And I know that I'm here with a divine purpose, as all of us are. And so it's also just part of being in the flow of that. And I think what you said is so true. And it touches with the fact that so many people in Unity, it's not their faith tradition.
It's not their first family, church. Right? A lot of people, it's not their first church.
So it's individuals that are actually seeking something that fits them more, and that fits the vision that they have for community and for humanity. More so. So we get to co-create it together.
Well, and I think another aspect of why Unity on the Bay is so freaking amazing is because you're human. Now, you know what I mean? We're all human. I get that. But we put religion, puts pastors, puts priests, puts all these people on this pedestal, right? And, that was why I wanted to do the platform. So I host the platform at Unity on the Bay a couple times a month. And I'm blessed to be the leader of the other folks that also do the same, right? And we're kind of like a conduit between the reverend and the congregants, right? But it's not a needed conduit, because you're so reachable, you're so attainable, you're human. And that is what makes people not only regard you as their spiritual leader, but also as part of their family.
Well, I'm on the journey too, right? And I'm still working things out. I still have my moments. You hear about quite a bit of them. Some of them make it to Sunday services.
Some of them do. It is great right there, like on the stage. It's pretty funny.
It becomes a little dicey when family members of mine are in the room, right?
Yes, he'll be talking about his mom, like on there, like during service while his mom is watching. Let me ask you about that. Like, what is Thomas, his husband? I love you. He's my favorite scientist on earth, and I just adore him. What does he think about you putting all your stuff on stage like that?
It's funny because he isn't like that, and I'm so much like that. I'm the kind of person that if I bought something on sale, I need to let everybody know that I got that on sale, and he's the one that says, let them have the fantasy that you bought it at full price.
You put it full price. Yeah.
So, but it's like trying to just be in harmony with where we're both at and understanding each other. Because I think he understands that it's part of my purpose to share about my life, and in that way support others in experiencing their life in a different way also, you know? So I think he really honors that.
I think he does too. How long have you boys been married now?
Oh my gosh, we've been married for 15 years, together for 17.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's
I
amazing.
know.
All right, let's talk about marriage. Let's talk about marriage, okay? So you've been walking this talk for decades. I mean, you and Tom were part of the lawsuit that brought marriage equality in Florida, right? And that right there is history, folks. That's the history that they're trying to erase on us, right? So what does that mean to you now in a time when so many of us, including myself, worry about losing that right that you fought for?
You know, it's an interesting thing because it is something that I so believe in, and it's a right that I believe all of us should have, and that there shouldn't be a place where somebody is questioning that. That said, I've also known the struggle for it. So, and that struggle towards full equality, I think it just continues, you know, and we have a couple of steps forward, we have a step back. And I'm not new to the struggle and the difficulty and the challenge of having to say, hey, like the LGBTQ community is worthy of it. Love is love.
Yeah.
Who we are as humans, and how we are treated as humans with dignity, with respect. It's not only important, it is exactly what community is supposed to be about. And it is going to be where all of us move, you know, all the others, will realize our oneness.
Yeah.
And so it's just part of the path for me. I know it can be difficult.
And scary. Like, I'm super scared, Juan. And I mean, I think that was, you know, how it was super hard to get on that stage at Unity on the Bay, right? When we found out that Donald Trump was going to be the next president. You know what I mean? It was hard, but you know, you had to, right? So it's like a part of you has been fighting. So we just have to keep on fighting, right? But the fear of not knowing, right? Like, I mean, am I not going to be Mrs. Albernas in a couple of months? You know what I mean? And I know it's not just cut and dry. Okay, that's it. It's over. You know what I mean? But you were there fighting the fight, saying, we did this.
Yeah. And before that, there were a lot of times that I fought the fight and we just missed it, you know?
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that the fears don't show up. For me, it just means that I have a little bit of muscle and heart memory that I was able to get by through my connections, through the people that were there to support me, the people that are there that I can support, and that we are stronger than anything that gets thrown our way. I mean, as an LGBTQ plus community, we have lived and we continue to live through so much.
So much.
It isn't fair. And at the same time, while I can look at that, I can also look at it's built resilience, it's empowered us, and we have continued to work towards equality and justice, not only for our community, but for so many communities, as a result of knowing what it's like to be treated as other than.
Yeah. Yeah. So being marginalized has a good side.
Well, I believe that in everything there is some grace, you know, and that's what I see. You know, like, would I wish that it wasn't so difficult and so challenging? Of course.
Yeah.
Is there something within the struggle that I can lean on and say, well, at least I can make something good out of this? And I can. And I believe that that is God's grace, that we can be empowered, that we can become more resilient, that we can be more trusting and faith-filled, more hopeful, and that we know that we do it together.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's next. Okay, so you're organizing clergy to get inside Alligator Alcatraz, and you were just there a couple of days ago at the Everglades Detention Center. That's not just faith; that's faith in motion, literally. You know, how do we explain what's happening there, and why is this so important for spiritual leaders like yourself to show up and bring 200 of your friends to pray for these folks?
Well, first and foremost, because prayer is powerful. You know, prayer reminds us that we're not alone. Prayer reminds us the place that God's love, God's wisdom, however you see God, that there is this energy that binds us and that moves us forward. And prayer reminds us about the power that is within us. And so prayer is important, right? I think you can't really explain too much about what's going on other than to say it's unjust. It's not who we are. It's not who we value ourselves to be. And in the face of injustice, we can't be silent. Love in action, right?
Yeah.
And this is the way that we make God known to others, by being that love in action and by speaking up for people and doing the work of honoring all people.
But you're not doing okay, when somebody's like, oh, I need to find a job. It'll all be in God's time, right? You're not doing the spiritual bypass either, because you're praying, but you're also getting all other folks together and you've signed something, right? And you're demanding to get inside. Did I explain that correctly?
Yeah. There's a group of 8 of us that were the original signatories to this letter that we sent to Director Guthrie. And actually, we call that office every morning, afternoon, and late afternoon to check in as to whether they still have they have any response to our letter seeking to be let in. So, I mean, it's such a simple thing. It's to be there to support others that are in the detention center with prayer, with pastoral support. It's nothing. Well, I was going to say it's nothing huge, but it is huge.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that should ever be questioned. Especially when people are facing such fears and such hurt, that they can have somebody that they can speak to and pray with. I mean, that's just such a basic right.
It really is.
And so we're on it. We over 100 clergy have now signed on in support of this.
Wow.
And we call that office every single day to just check in and say, hey, we're still waiting to hear back. And we will continue to call you.
Because, right now we're on the Sunshine Cathedral Plaza, and Darrell and Robert alternate with Unity on the Bay and you going down there also. So, I mean, it's, we're not taking it, right? Our folks aren't taking it. Let's talk about what's coming up that was the reason why I actually invited you in bed, right? But I'm so glad that I still got you in bed anyway. And I know that sounds still weird, right? It still sounds weird, people, right? Let's talk about breaking bread, okay? Yeah. Breaking bread, breaking bias, okay? Yeah. The Interfaith service on November 16th, Islamic, Jewish, Unitarian, and Unity traditions all coming together, sharing prayers, stories, and a potluck? That's why I love me some Unity on the Bay, because we can't do anything without a spiritual buffet. You got to feed us, feed us and feed us. You know what I mean? You don't have to pick one flavor of God. You just come as you are, hungry for love and maybe a little mac and cheese, right? I mean, tell me how this is not the first one. You had one last year, but how this came to pass and how important it is. I mean, not every church is doing something like this.
Well, I think we're very blessed. Part of our diversity is, like you said, being so open to other people's faith traditions and their own spiritual journeys, and seeing the things that connect us more than the things that separate us. And I think that's one of the major goals of us coming together. We were reached out to by Temple Beth Am and their Breaking Bias program to just be involved. And through that, we were so inspired that we started reaching out to other partners of ours and getting them involved. And so actually, just hot off the presses, the Universal Truth Center, which is part of the New Thought movement, and also the Krishna Consciousness Center, which is sort of the Hare Krishna from the Hindu tradition. They're now going to be a part of it also. God. So we're growing the tent.
Wow.
And it's an opportunity to come together and just share who we are and see the things that really connect us and the ways that we can work together. Because all of us that are coming together believe in equality, believe in social justice, believe that there is a place for the LGBTQ plus community to be honored in their spirituality and in their faith. Right?
Yeah.
And so it's coming together to do that good work.
But this is and eat, right? And eat. But this is so much bigger, I think, you know what I mean, than just you explaining it right now. For the most part, people are used to a faith where it's my religion or none. Right? And we're the chosen one, and we're the lucky ones, and we're the ones that have, you know what I mean? And it's I remember being a kid asking that, right? Just being very confused by it all. How come you can't just go to any church, right? When outside it says all are welcome, So, I mean, this is such a wonderful idea. It's a wonderful space to come together. It's a safe space for people to come together. Maybe someone's on the fence and doesn't really know where they want to go spiritually or religiously. And this would be a good way to start, maybe. I mean,
I think it's part of healing, especially within our LGBTQ plus community. There's been such religious trauma that any opportunity that we have to be around faith traditions that celebrate and honor us is part of the healing.
Yeah.
You know, I also think that part of it is so many world religions are focused on, you know, what happens after, you know, we're in this plane and, you know, heaven, you know, in the afterlife. And as you know, at Unity on the Bay, we're really focused on how do we create heaven on earth
Right now.
And so, you know, that can't be done by just one person or one group of people alone. For it to be heaven on earth, we have to create a just world that works for all, where all of God's children, all people just feel welcomed and lifted up.
Yeah.
And that happens by connecting with others. That happens by reaching out and reaching in.
And God, you know, it's surprising. So I have this shirt on and it says,
I love it.
Right. And what does it say, Rev?
Oh, hold on. Love yourself and be kind.
Okay, love yourself and be kind, right? So there is a day every year that it's like Be Kind Day, right? What was it?
It's in February.
But what's the name of it? It's not Be Kind Day. It's
Random Acts of Kindness.
Random Acts of Kindness Day, right? And so Unity on the Bay every year takes a group of us and drops us off somewhere, right? And says, go be nice, right? And gives us stickers and flowers and candy and, you know, and our shirts. And we go out there looking like, you know, like we're like, yeah, you know, and you're surprised by the fact that people don't know how to accept a compliment sometimes, or don't know how to accept, happy to see you. Wow, great shirt, right? You know, and it started off very like timid, right? And it ended up so joyous where we ended up giving people hugs and people were just taking pictures with us. And we're like, wow, we want to do this in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how you elevate folks one at a time. And I think that's how Unity does it.
Well, kindness grows.
Kindness grows.
Kindness grows. And, you know, you're experiencing that because it is, we were timid at first, other people were timid at first, but then as the energies just kept building, we weren't so timid. We were more excited.
We had runways going on and people catwalking and like having a fabulous time with their children.
And weren't people also more open to it?
Yes.
You know, even though they hadn't fully seen it, they experienced the energy and the consciousness of it.
Yes.
And they felt more aligned to it. And I mean, it's just kindness. It's amazing to me that people can be surprised by somebody being loving.
It's free.
And here we are to model it and to share it.
I love that.
And to receive it.
I love that. All right, Reverend Juan. So here at the FayWhat Show, you know that I always love to play games. So we're going to play a game with you before we let you go called Holy or Hell Nah. All right, you ready? Okay. So it's called Holy or Hell Nah. And I'm going to throw out a few situations and you tell me if it's holy, as in yes, bless it, or if it's hell nah, as in we need to sage the energy away for that.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm more nervous than I was as the minister.
No, he's not. He's playing. Just because this is live doesn't mean anything. Candy Crush before morning meditation.
Blessed, blessed, blessed be.
All right, so then holy, right?
Holy.
So holy or hell nah, okay?
I'm on level 8,943. It's got to be holy.
All right, got it. Okay, talking to Alexa more than your husband. Holy or hell nah?
Hell nah. Even though he might want it sometimes.
Sorry, Tom. Getting matching tattoos with your congregation. Holy or hell nah?
Hell nah. We don't know what kind of tattoos the congregation may want, you know, and I got to have like, you know, the ability to say no.
It would be cool if it was Reverend Juan's face. I'm just saying. A Real Housewives Bible study. Holy or hell nah?
Holy, 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 blessed be. Call me. I love it. I promise we'll get to the Bible at some point, but I do have some questions.
Okay, flirting during fellowship right before the service. Holy or hell nah?
Hell nah. Don't ask any more questions.
Okay.
Well, wait, me or other people during fellowship?
Other people.
Oh,
Other. Wow, Tom.
This is why I'm so. This is why I was nervous.
Other people.
Blessed.
Blessed.
Holy. Do it.
Do it.
And then flirt with people outside of services and bring them to the fellowship.
Oh, I like that. All right, there. Praying for your ex, but secretly hoping Carmel handles it. Holy or hell yeah?
Can we split it up and say holy for the first part and hell nah to the second part, although I understand.
When I first got sober, right, I had to learn to pray for my ex, right? So I would pray that she fell down the stairs, right? It's been a long time, Reverend Juan. It's been 10 years since that. I still pray for her, and I don't add the second part to it, okay?
so
Pa que lo sepa. I'm just saying, but you see, we evolve, right? I'm just saying.
It's a journey. It's a journey.
Having your dog blessed in a Louis Vuitton carrier. Holy. Turning your sermon notes into a TikTok dance.
Oh my gosh, I love dancing. Holy, holy, holy. Holy moly, what? Oh gosh, I just said holy moly. Was that so corny? But
super cute.
But holy moly, I want to do it. Let's do it.
Okay, all right. Wearing sequins at the pulpit for the glory of God, obviously.
If it gets through Faye, because she is one of my dressers on Sundays, then it's holy.
It's me and my best friend Michelle. She knows, right?
Yeah.
Lighting a candle for peace and another for better Wi-Fi. Holy or hell nah?
Triple holy.
Right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Saying namaste to avoid saying not today.
Holy. We do what we can.
We do what we can.
Small steps at a time.
All right. So really quick, last question. I know, right? It's just it's really hard to get them in bed. So my last question has been 3 questions before. Last question. Unity of the Bay has a new location. And we couldn't be happier. After being in Edgewater forever, then moving to the incredible Temple Israel, that has been our home for the last almost 5 years. Thank you for everything that you've done for us, Temple Israel. Are you excited about the blessings that are coming our way? How do you feel about this new move, this new building? Like, are you overwhelmed? I know it's going to take a lot for us to be there, but how do you feel? How does it wash over you?
First of all, I loved washing over you. I'm like, I saw myself by the river, wearing all white. Okay. I feel so excited. It's a lot of work. And, creating dreams, living into a vision, living into and manifesting the visions that you've held for a long time. It takes work, and it takes faith.
Yes.
And we're swimming through it all, and it's going to be amazing. And we can't wait to have you join us in the new location in Miami Gardens. Although that's not going to be till next year, middle of next year. So in the meantime, come and be a part of Unity on the Bay now.
Yes, at Temple Israel, because right after you can go to Wynwood and go to our house for brunch. It's so perfect, I can't even tell you. So at the new place, I'm going to get my dressing room, the juice bar, and a teleprompter that I asked for.
We'll talk about that another time we find ourselves in bed.
That never happened. Oh, now I get it! Now I get it! Reverend Juan, you've been such a force for love, for justice, and for showing us that spirituality can be inclusive, joyful, and real. You remind me every day that faith isn't about perfection, it's about connection. So, if someone out there is feeling lost or disconnected or unsure where they belong, what would you say to them?
I'd say that, in all journeys, there are ups and downs, and let Unity on the Bay and let the connection that you have with the God of your being be what continues to support you through it, uplifts you, reminds you that you're worthy, that you are here to be celebrated, you're here to thrive. And if I or Faye or Unity on the Bay can be a part of that for you, we'd love to welcome you and create heaven on earth for all of us together.
Amen. Juan, thank you for all you do for me, all you do for everyone. Thank you for reminding me every week that divine is right here, right now, in all of us, even sometimes that we don't feel that it is, right?
Well, thank you for also not only being a witness to it, but for being a mirror to it. I find the same inspiration in you, and I love you for it.
I love you, Reverend Juan. Reverend Juan, please do me a favor and give them your best FayWhat.
FayWhat?
He does really good at that, right? Unity on the Bay services Sunday 9:30 and 11:15 or any time that you want on YouTube, okay? You can also follow Reverend Juan Del Hierro on Instagram at Del Hierro Juan, and follow Unity on the Bay at Unity on the Bay, or visit unityonthebay.org for all kinds of information, or to donate, or to join us for Sunday service live or in person. Trust me, you come once, you'll feel the love the minute you walk through that door, all right? It's home. It just feels that way. There's something about the energy that the folks bring at Unity on the Bay. When you walk in the door, you do this. And that's everything. That right there is heaven. Reverend Juan, I love you, love you, love you. You have to come back to my bed again soon, okay?
Well, yeah, because I owe you an answer about that closet and all that other stuff. But thank you, Faye, for having me. Really love you and appreciate you.
Besito. Mwah! Love you, Reverend Juan. We'll be right back.